The Dead Island 2 gaming challenge of all gaming challenges. One girl. One card. And a lot of stupid rules. Ladies and gentlemen, today I present to you the Dead Island 2 No Shop, No Repair, No Craft Masochist Challenge. Boy, what a mouthful that was.
That's what she said.
Now, you may be asking yourself, Danny, why do you call it the Masochist Challenge? Here's why. The Masochist card is a survivor card you can equip during your playthrough that makes the game significantly harder. Damage dealt to zombies is reduced by 50%, zombie stun time is basically axed, the window for a perfect dodge is a lot tighter, our health regenerates way slower, and medkits aren't as effective. Here's an example of combat without the card. A basic enemy takes 5 hits to kill, whereas with the card, the same enemy with the same weapon takes 11 hits to kill. So overall, it sounds like so much fun and totally won't make me cry myself to sleep at night. Anyways, like I mentioned earlier, to make this even more enjoyable than it already sounds, I'm not letting myself buy any weapons, medkits, or supplies from the shops around the maps, or I can't repair or modify any weapons using the workbench. So I'll be solely relying on weapon pickups dropped from enemies, from completing side quests, or ones I find from exploring. And from what I can tell by my not so extensive research, this challenge actually hasn't been done before, so enjoy a first and possibly last time because oh my god was this ever excruciatingly painful. To start the challenge we need to pick a slayer, and this time I went with Amy, which hindsight wasn't the best idea because of her low toughness, but in the end we made it work. In the intro, it demonstrates the basic mechanics of the game, like how to heal, crouch, and run. After all that's out of the way, we meet our first survivors.
What? I can't hear you. I got blood coming out of my ears.
And encounter our first enemy. And as you probably assumed, I killed him so easily because of my stellar gamer skills. We also see something we'll be seeing a lot during the challenge, and that is our weapon breaking. Broken weapons can be repaired using a workbench, but in this challenge that is a big no-go, so I discard them. After we mopped up some zombies on the way to Emma's, we get our first survivor card slot, which means we can actually start the challenge and equip the Masochist card. Going into this first section, I was a little bit nervous because I never played the game on this difficulty before, so I didn't really know what to expect. Luckily, I'm such a pro at dodging now because of my last video, which by the way, you should check out if you haven't already. So I cleared them pretty easily. On our way to the Helprin Hotel, I decided to do a side quest that introduces us to Curtis, a Hugh Hefner doppelganger that has an OP rifle. Doing this first quest will eventually allow us to do a second quest, rewarding us with his rifle, Peggy. At the Helprin Hotel, things got a little crazy outside. My weapons broke and I took a few beatings, but then I used my environment to help clear the horde. I did the same thing by the pool and threw the meat bay right in the caustic water and watched the zombies go for a little dip. Using the environment to help defeat enemies is super beneficial in this run so we can preserve all our weapons for bosses. After making my way through the hotel, I finally got to the first boss of the game, Becky the Crusher.
Do I swear to kick your ass? Well, I do.
I'm not even gonna hold anything back here. The fight was pretty embarrassing for Becky. I barely took any damage, and her small brigade of zombies didn't make the fight any more challenging. After she broke my good sword, enough was enough. I knocked her veil right off her head, and Becky took her final blow. Now we're sent off to chase after one of the survivors in Beverly Hills. I almost died outside his house before I realized I could actually just juke the zombies and get in through his window. But then I died for the first time because my little brain dropped the circuit breaker instead of putting it in. Also, prepare to see that screen a lot, and for this number to increase rapidly. Our next stop of this goose chase is in Monarch Studios. There were a few mini hordes of zombies that slapped me around quite a few times before once again I used all of my brain power to realize that I didn't have to kill them all. So I did the courageous thing here and ran away. Well, I tried to anyways. After our great escape, we finally find the missing survivor of the group, and meet the next boss. I'm gonna really try to enunciate this time, so my apologies. Alessis the Slobber. Now, not even trying to brag here, this fight was so incredibly easy. I did it first try, obviously, and didn't take any damage. Wait, why are you showing that? Okay, I'm totally kidding, he rocked my shit. But I did do it my second try, like for real. With this fight, I tried to use all the effects and environment to help me take care of the other zombies so I could just focus all my resources on the boss. But after a while, he got pretty tired and had to split. I'm sorry, I know that wasn't funny. Moving on, we meet up with Sambi and Earblood guy from before to help steal some guns. Only it doesn't go as planned. R.I.P. Ronnie. He was killed by our next boss, Nikki, a screamer. And I know I probably sound like a broken record here, but oh my god, do I ever hate screamers. This fight was really chaotic. I did a lot of running and fist palming, or whatever you call this move here. And I only died once and somehow killed Nikki at the same time, so I'm gonna take that as a win. Now we're off to the Sterling Hotel, but to get there we have to go through the military zone, and boy am I in for a treat. I tried to speedrun through the tunnels, but this screamer summoned some zombies who smacked me right back to the beginning. But this time around, I laced up my shoes, got to the end, and threw the meat bait like Stevie Wonder. Luckily, the gate mechanics aren't the greatest in this game, and I just slithered through them while the zombies were distracted. The final section of the final gauntlet begins by throwing me in a room with a Crusher, Screamer, and Slobber, but they all went down pretty easily. It was this next section that had me clenching my controller. At this point, my basic weapons were barely doing any damage, so I had to rely on using the environment, and luckily there were these pools that I would electrify the zombies with, and there were also a lot of flammables around. Moving on, I normally wouldn't include this next mission in the video because it usually isn't tough and doesn't have much to do with the story, but there's something about screamers that literally makes me forget how to play this game. I died 4 times here before I finally discovered the creepy van strat. I just camped on top of this van and picked off all the zombies until I could 1v1 the screamer.
You could call it cheating, I call it strategy. Shit!
But unfortunately, I still opted to kill her from the van. Because I'm a puss. From then, the game was pretty plain sailing until we got to the pier. There was a double Crusher and Slobber fight, which added quite a few digits to my death toll. But the real fun came from the arcade. I came face to face with my arch nemesis, the Voltaic Screamer. I died so many times here, I questioned my abilities, and if the challenge was even doable. But for once, I did the notable thing and decided to backtrack because this challenge was already hard and the enemies were 2 levels higher than me here. I ended up doing some side quests for Ricky Rex, or you guys may know him as the underwear dude in Beverly Hills. I also managed to do Curtis's mission and finally got my hands on Peggy, but we aren't done yet. I knew if I even wanted a chance at the final boss, I would need more. So I took a trip to Sola. I won't bore you with the details here, but I finished 3 of the missions and unlocked the Hornet's Nest, which is debatably the most powerful curveball in the game. Now back at the arcade with my newly acquired firepower, I cleared the area and headed straight to the Ferris wheel. And on the other side, I was met with what looked like an Art the Clown wannabe named Butcho. He's our next boss called the Butcher. This fight was pretty easy. Perfect dodges stun these guys, giving me plenty of time to rock his shit. Some shamblers end up spawning in, but they're not really much of a threat. And with one swift ground pound, Butcho was put to rest. Which brings us to Dr. Reed's secret lair of experiments and torture. How inviting. It's actually quite fitting though, because inside we meet Noah, our next boss, the Mutator. I miraculously didn't die here, but I used a lot of the environment to help me out. And the Hornet's Nest dealt him with a lot of damage before I finished him off in Fury mode. After the fight, we're heading into one of the last sections of the game in the metro. And overall, it's pretty annoying. The Vicious Butcher annihilated me quite a few times. Well, actually quite a few times. But I got the last laugh. And then I fought a horde inside and outside the metro station. How fun. The fight inside was pretty nerve-wracking because there was a screamer and mutator, but I ended up doing it on my first try. The fight outside also went pretty well. I just didn't include a lot of footage because most of it looks like this, but I also managed to do it on my first try. After the metro, we're coming to our final boss, the Reuben Eater, aka a mutator on some serious roids. And if that wasn't enough, the game also sprinkles in every single boss, regular enemies, oh, and the whole arena is on fire. I wish I was kidding. And let me tell you, this fight sucked so hard. I died a countless amount of times. And one time I came close, but my dreams were shattered by one flail of his stupid arm, and I was smacked right back to the beginning. But on my last attempt, after giving myself the pep talk of a lifetime, I bested the Rubinator with a ground pound. And just like that, it was finally over. With so many deaths and so many hours crying, I finally beat Dead Island 2's Masochist difficulty without using the shop or workbench. And let me tell you, this challenge was a doozy, but a fun one. So if you're into the game and want a challenge or just a different way to play it, I really recommend trying it out. Anyways, thank you everyone for watching this video. Hope you all had a good time, and until next time, see ya!